Howdy, how's it going? My name's Jessica. Welcome to my channel, Jessica in Progress. Today we've got a extended vlog for you where we find out if the books that come in boxes are even good. You know? So in this episode, vlog, whatever, we're gonna first go through Garden of the Cursed by Katy Rose Poole, which was the July Owlcrate box, YA. We'll also go through Famous for a Living by Melissa Ferguson, which was the June Once Upon a Book Club book. And then we'll finish off with Immortal Longings by Gong, which was the first Owlcrate adult-only book box in July. Overall, pretty pleased with the books and the boxes. So, you know, stay tuned for whatever mess this extended vlog is, because trust me, it took more than a week for this and there was other things going on. So yeah. I know it's Monday morning, but I'm ready to go back to bed. So we've already got ourselves kind of a chaotic morning here. I knew that I was gonna have to do all of these chores that I put off all weekend because I'm a silly Billy. But what else we got is our neighbor's dog broke into our yard. So, yay. I've already complained to our landlord about the fence so many times, and we right now have like a bunch of boards that we've replaced ourselves. But no matter how many times I'm like, hey, our fence is rotting and falling apart, please replace it. Nothing has happened. Yay, love renting, so great. But anyway, plans for this week, we've got to keep up the house chores. We have to unpack. We have to repack. We have to do laundry. We have to fix up the guest room again. We have to work. You know, we have to do a bit of job searching, fun stuff, and we have to read. And this fence thing, not helping me. Anyway, I finished the 2 books that I wanted to finish last night in bed, and I was gonna start a Garden of the Cursed, but I was tired and it was 1, and I was like, if I start it, I'm gonna stay up for another hour. Or I can toss and turn for 30 minutes and eventually go to bed. I think I ended up tossing for about 45 minutes and then finally was comfortable enough or exhausted enough to go to bed. But otherwise, we are struggling today. We're gonna make a pot of coffee. It's gonna be a difficult thing because the sink is full of dishes, but we are gonna do the coffee before the dishes, and we'll probably, honestly, put off the dishes until lunch because I have to do work things and also figure out the fence thing. And I'm just gonna let the dogs play in the backyard for like an hour with the neighbor's dog, have a little pup date. That way they're exhausted today and don't bother me much. This plan always backfires, but you know. Rilo has gone home. We have used our last board to cover up 2 missing planks. It'll work for now. Stin is sad because he loves Rilo. And Tara, she's a mess because we had to knock over the water bowl 4 times. We had some fun in the water, and now we are both wet, but mostly not muddy. No
we're gonna be inside and we're gonna be cool and calm for like 2 hours so Mom can get some work done.
Don't even get an hour apiece. So we've done all our work day, and then we also edited our unboxing video. I was a little like meh with it because it was very calm. Like I was like, oh, I have no energy in this at all. But anyway, we've done that, and then we were like, oh my god, it's 7:30. We have no food at the house. So going to the store, bringing food home and cooking it would have been too long. So that's on Ryan's to-do list tomorrow, and instead today we got the Whataburger. So I'm excited for that. We're gonna eat the Whataburger. We're gonna finish posting our unboxing video, and honestly, I'm so green and new that I don't care about release schedule. I just need to get it posted. So I'm gonna immediate post it and then start reading Garden of the Cursed, and then we're gonna go all night long. Well, as long as all night can be, because I imagine I'm not gonna start actually reading until 9. But it is what it is. Did I do the dishes yet? No. Were the dogs taken care of? Yes. That's all. Like, that's all I can do for you right now. That's all I can do. I did my nails though, so yeah. I'm gonna go eat. Alright, so it's 11:30, and I am now just over 50 pages in Garden of the Cursed. Okay, if you hear other talking in the background, that would be my husband playing video games with his friends online, so, you know, at least one of us has friends. Anyway, I'm a little over 50 pages in, and the plot has started, the fake dating has started. It literally just started though. A little contrived, like it kind of makes sense, but it was kind of like, oh, we're fake dating now. Not even gonna talk about it. Not even gonna say, like, so Adrius, the guy, has this curse, right? That he's like also cursed not to tell anyone about the curse. And Marlo figured it out because they were best friends until like a year ago. And then all of a sudden he flipped a switch. Now I'm thinking that his switch flipped because that's when the curse was actually cast, not the 3 weeks ago. I think he's lying about that. And I think this whole thing started a year ago because that's also when Marlo's mother kind of disappeared. And there's something about a black gang. There's some gang stuff going on here. It's really weird how it kind of is like this book is mirroring all of the other books. So it's so the poor people live in the marshes, which is like this flooded area, kind of like the Threads That Bind. Like, I know that all of this is just coinkadinkly, you know, a thing, but like, they live, so she lives in the marshes, which is this flooded area because the rich people built like dams and stuff. And then she has to fake date for the Fabulous Five families or what have you. And then she knows the Fabulous Five families because she went to school with them, much like House of Beating Wings. She wasn't really part of the society. She was just able to infiltrate because her mom had a connection or something or other. Anyway, there is a good amount of diversity. Like, I can't tell you skin color, like no one's been described that well. Diversity, but there is like disabled diversity in here. So like someone, background character, don't know anything about him, but he like sign languages because he gave up his last breath, Ursula style, for a spell. So the spells in this world are made out of like human elements. So like blood, last breath, last voice, um, fingernails, bones, I don't know. They're made out of like human elements. And they are on spell cards. So one thing, especially since we have not a blind person, especially since we have very clearly like a society where you might regularly be mute and therefore sign language is a thing. And then our main character's co-worker slash best friend, Swift, has one arm because of spell work gone wrong or curse work. You would think that there would be other disabled things in here. And since spells are on cards, so Marlo has made this thing a number of times where she's been like, I wish that I could just tell the card what it was, what spell card I had in my pocket as I leafed through them without looking at them. And I'm like, girl, that's Braille. Like, can you not put Braille on your cards? So it'd be interesting to see if that comes up. Doubt it will, but that's just my thoughts. We're 50 pages in. We're kind of moving and grooving. The first section of it was Marlo solving a case and breaking a curse for the main ballet person who was doing the Moon Thief. Her understudy had like cursed her or something. It's not like a spoiler because it's the first like 10 pages, and it is supposed to show her being like really good at her curse work, but like she just seems really confident in her curse work. Because in the background she's messing up a lot. So I think the synopsis of her being the best curse breaker is a bit of a stretch. Anyway, I'm probably gonna read a little bit more tonight and then I'll go to bed. I honestly need to stop thinking about YA fantasies, because now that I am of an older person, I'm almost 30, I'm 28, being like, oh, you're a 17-year-old and you're an expert in this? No. Like, possible, totally possible, but unbelievable. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going, and I'll check in with you tomorrow. We're gonna let the puppies get situated, and then we're gonna start, because normally they're like calm, and then I start talking to you guys, and they go, oh my god, mom has energy. We have energy. Let's go. But we were just sleeping on the couch. It is Saturday. I'm not great at vlogging. Never said I was. It's Saturday. Technically it's Sunday because it's after midnight, but whatever. What are sleep schedules? Isn't that right, baby boy? I'm not good at vlogging because one, I'm not used to it, and two, like the house is always crazy. Like someone's always playing video games. I sometimes, sir, can we not eat that, please? I'm always not always doing stuff. I'm always too lazy to do stuff, or then I get manic and decide to do things. And this last week we were just like doing things and we were busy, but it wasn't like interesting. Like the most interesting thing is like we made sesame chicken. Got it done. It was mostly work all week, and then I was too tired. I did finally finish Garden of the Cursed though, and I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. It was really cute. Like I know originally I was like, it's a little tropey, or what, and like it is a little tropey, but I think this one is like a really good fake dating. And I think I'm starting to like fake dating just because I've read so many and now I like know the trope a little bit better outside of like fanfic or whatever. So we follow Marlowe, who is a curse breaker. She gets contacted by her old friend Ardrius, who is now cursed. And he has a compulsion curse, so anything that anyone says, like, as an order, he does. Now, it was really good. I liked how the plot played out. I liked the twist, even though I knew who the villain was the whole time. But that's just because I know how to read these things. And I was actively trying to like figure it out as well, because it is it's a good mystery in here too, because it's not just one mystery, it's like 2 to 3 connected mysteries. There's some gang violence in it, which is fun. There's stupid rich boys, which is fun. There's sassy rich bitchy girls, which love. I hope that we get more from some of the side characters in the next book. It did leave off on a really good ending. And I like the unfinishedness of the end. So when you read this, it's going to be like, just a heads up, it's an unfinished ending. Like, it is very much, there needs to be a book 2. So I liked it, loved the characters. I loved Swift a lot. And our main girl, Marlowe, she has good flaws. She has good reasoning. Like, I believe that she is a smart character, you know, and I believe that she gets caught up in her own world and forgets to think about other people, which is like her major flaw. And it's pointed out over and over again to her. And she's just like, I will try. She's like, I promise not to. And then her best friend looks at her and she's like, I will try not to. Because, you know, when that's your character flaw, that's your character flaw. Anyway, I enjoyed the hell out of it and eagerly anticipating the next one. So I hope it's not delayed or anything. I hope it comes out pretty quickly. One thing I do wish is, okay, so one, like, nitpicking, I don't know why they have to be 17. I think it would be a lot better if they were aged up a little bit. I understand us wanting to stay in the YA area, but I think 20 would be a better age for them, just because of the believability of how good our main character is at curse breaking, as well as like all the things that she gets into, especially given the fact that she did grow up in high society, like in it but outside of it, you know. And even with her mom being part of the black market and having, you know, backwater connections, it doesn't feel like our character had enough time to immerse herself in the world of no longer being in the noble area and now being in the marshes. I also ended up really liking Ardris in the end, and I like his character. Do I find his pre-book actions super believable? Like, maybe. You know, I'm not part of the noble nouveau or whatever it is that they call it over and over in this book, you know. I only studied courtier stuff. And this book really, really wanted me to go back to my early British literature, courtier, you know, Thomas More, all of that stuff, because it's just like, it has those, like, it doesn't dive deep into the elements of, you know, high society stuff. It kind of glazes over it because that's not the point of it. But I think it would have been cool if we added an extra like 20 pages just to be like, here's another party, you know, just for fun. Because it really was for the most part, everything in this book should have been in this book. For the most part, everything moved the plot along, you know, or gave us more consequences or gave us more character building. Like, I don't think that I would cut anything from this book. In fact, I would add. But I think that's just, I would add because every other book has stuff that needs to be cut. And I think just having a nice moment that doesn't get spoiled or anything between our two mains would be nice. Anyway, that's all. Since it's Saturday and I do want to continue this vlog until I get the 4 books done, or at least, 3, I don't know. I want to start the June Once Upon a Book Club. This book club sends you a book once a month, and then it picks items that are described in the book, and then like once you get to that item, you open it up and you go, oh my god, and it like encourages you to read the book that you get. Kind of like how I immediately read my Owlcrate books. I put this one off a bit because I like filming them in vlog-ish style. So we have the June one, and when we open it up, okay, we get the book Famous for a Living by Melissa Ferguson. Are we good? Squish! Okay. So, we get a packet of goodies with it. A bookmark for the book that is done specifically for the book. Okay, this one says, I would live fully in the moment, enjoy every moment. Okay, and then it has the reminder to open your gifts when the pages come. It has our author letter with the bookmark quote, bigger. We've got our author signature thing that we put in the book. And then we get a nice booklet with discussions from the author, discussion questions for your own book club, a reminder of what pages the book presents are. And then on this one, we have a recipe for Zach's vegan chili. So there you go there. And then the theme for June, I guess, was phone down, heart open. I don't really pay attention to Once Upon a Book Club's themes really all that much because the theme is the book that we got, The theme is a clue to the book if you care enough. And I just kind of let them come and surprise me every time. I never, I don't look up what I'm getting in my boxes. They just show up. And I just try not to buy the new hit book, when it comes out. And that's going to be a little bit easier because I'm going to try and slow down my book buying a little bit because I went a little crazy and I have a lot of books that I still need to read, especially if I want to catch up on all the books, which I don't. I've fully decided that I'm not going to read every single book that I have on my shelf. I'm going to probably go through those a little bit sooner rather than later and clear them out a little bit more. I still want to do some of my middle grade, not middle grade, they're young adult book series. And I still want to be I reread, the Gallagher Girls series because those were my favorite books way back when, and I want to see if they hold up, and I want to read my stupid mermaid books, Okay, so in this book, our main girl, Kat. So, Kat, her business partner did the financial crimes. So she now has to escape paparazzi and interrogations and all of that. She goes to her uncle's camp in Montana. Apparently it's snowy there because there's a bunch of stuff about polar bear plunges and talking yourself out of a frozen lake and snow. So she goes there and leaves her penthouse for this backwoods cabin. And she tries to kind of make up her life again. And in this whole time, she's trying to bond with the other people there. And maybe she kind of likes this one park ranger, Zaya? Z-A-I-A-H. Zaya. Anyway, she kind of likes him, except he is the Ron Swanson of the group, who's just throwing my computer in a dumpster. I don't like social media, and you're a very social media person, therefore I don't like you. So we might also have like some little, maybe bickering to lovers action in here. I don't think it's gonna be like enemies by any sort, but that's gonna be this. It's gonna be super fun. It looks like a summer read, and I think that's why they sent it out for summer, but there's gonna be snow, so I don't know exactly the season here yet. Anyway, let me show you the cute little packaging in order of page number. So we have page 21. Look at this cute little park ranger thing. Then we have page 63. It's got like the spring flowers all over it. That's nice. Then we have a cute little dice bag at page 106. Okay. And then we have this tiny little thing at page 171, and it's just blue clouds. Now, normally I try and guess what we have, but these are such small items, and I know nothing about the book. Feeling this koozie, I'm thinking a koozie, so that'll be cute. I want to think this is like a bar of soap. I don't know why I think it's a bar of soap, but it's thick, solid. I think it's a bar of soap. This could be anything. This could be anything. It has a little bit of like sand sounds to it. So that kind of throws out my initial guess of like a park badge that you could like put on a jean jacket or something. I have no clue. And then I want to think that this is a tube of lipstick, and I want to hope that I'm wrong. But it's a square thing. So yeah. And that's everything in this box. It's the smallest packaged, like normally we have bigger things in these boxes, so this is like the smallest package box that I've seen. But anyway, I'm gonna put the author sticker in here and kind of just dive right into it because I want to know what the things are. And hopefully I can get this done quick enough. So there's also another thing in here. I can see it now. It's sticking out and it's like cardboard. It's a little too long for the book and it's gonna annoy me. But there's like a plane ticket way back here. So, spoiler, maybe? I just flipped through the book and it's actually gonna have these cute little Instagram phone screenshots throughout all of them. So that'll be cool. Or like, I've seen a couple of them. Is it every chapter start? Yeah, every chapter starts with a Instagram post. So that's neat. Anyway, I'll be back. We are now further in to Famous for a Living. Fun fact, it says the title in the book. Love when it does that. That's the name of the book. We are on page 77. So we're on chapter 5. That might be annoying. I don't know. Anyway, we are on chapter 5. We're on page 77. We have just arrived at our snow-filled cabin where she has found out that she doesn't have the cabin by herself. She has a roommate. Anyway, this is very much a woman who came up in Instagram. Like, the first chapter is her 30th birthday, so she's like an older influencer, you know, older influencer, and came up, you know, when Instagram came up. She got in business with this one dude who was like, sign the contract now or we're gonna have to delay our launch. She was like, bro, I already told everyone we're launching today. Like, this is what this party is. So after a bunch of stuff going on at the same time, she signs a contract. She's signed a bunch of other contracts for this app, whatever, but she signs this one, and then suddenly, you know, data selling, bad stuff, terrible, unfun. She gets essentially canceled, you know, all of that. And her friend is like, girl, you need to escape. I'll watch your penthouse for you and rent it from you, because she comes from, like, you know, she comes from money. Anyway, so she is left and she's now in the snow-filled area, and she has had a couple run-ins with Zaya. And I kind of like Zaya at the moment, but he does seem like he could be... Yeah, I like Zaya for the most part right now. It looks like they're going to have some good witty banter between the two of them. I'm not sure if I'm going to like Uncle so much, because he seems like he can very much, you know, go a little too far on some things maybe. Anyway, I like it so far, and I'm about to really like the cabin in the woods thing, because right now, or at least what it has been, is like white aesthetics, the general marble farm, not even farmhouse, like very modern descriptions of the stuff that she was in, and white is like everywhere, and I'm just like, I don't vibe with that style. I'm a log cabin person myself. Anyway, the writing of it is also very much, it's first person, and it very much sounds like she's telling you this story, like the woman, the main character Kat, is telling it to you over a coffee. Anyway, we're gonna go in, open our little packages. Our first one was on page 21, and the sentence was, I raised the thin gold chain in my fingers. The rose embossed locket is so small you wouldn't think it could fit a picture in there, and yet. Okay, and bah. There we go. So we got ourselves a locket, little circle oval. It has a rose in it. And then if we can open it up, it's gonna have Miss Aunt and our uncle in his ranger uniform. All right, excuse me, sir. Okay. Okay, and then the next one is on page 63. An empty coffee mug sits in the console between us, the bottom rim holding the remnants of dark as night liquid and a few coffee grounds. Sir, do not eat that. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to be a coffee mug, so maybe it's coffee. I couldn't tell you. We have floral car coasters. And then that's what it says on the back there. So we've got these two blue floral car coasters. And here is, you know, the cork back. And boy's gonna eat the box now. Puppies, am I right? Anyway, I will get back to the book. Yes, we will, huh, Cara? We'll get back to the book. Squish. Mwah. So this is probably the quietest my house will ever be. The husband is currently napping with the puppy dogs, so it's just you and me here right now. And I have finished Famous for a Living. I thought it was very cute. There wasn't anything super exciting about it, but it was very cute. It was a nice slow burn of opposites attract. And I like how the ending concluded, because it was very much like an opposites attract, who's gonna give up their lifestyle type of thing towards the end. But for most of it, it was honestly like big city girl comes to small town, tries to save business Hallmark movie. You know, this spring vibe on the cover here, a lie. It's cold the entire time. So I wish this had been more of a wintry vibe, because it is a wintry vibe. Anyway, let's get to the last two gifts. So this one, page 106, the quote for it is, hastily she picks up the mason jar and slides the piece over it. A cozy for your cozy coffee, she declares with pride. Okay, and then there we go. So it's just kind of a little disappointed because the one in the book had a bear on it. This is just a bunch of funky colors. And it says, read books, drink coffee, be happy. So yeah. I don't even know if I have anything that'll fit this size, but we'll see. Okay. Then the last one was on page 177. And my prediction was correct on this one as well, with the line being, pick up the lick stick tube with the gilded number 007 across the side and hesitate. Little lipstick, but perfectly nude 007. Take it all the way out, and then there we go. It's lipstick. A little too nude for my taste. If I'm gonna apply lipstick, I want it a little more bold. Like, I don't normally wear lipstick, and that's kind of one of my grievances. Like, I like, for the most part, the books that Once Upon a Book Club picks out. I like that they're more contemporary. I like that it's, you know, not the romance. Not the romance. I like that it's not the fantasy, you know, stuff that we're used to getting in all of the other boxes. But one thing that I don't like is that it's very female-centric. So I couldn't see someone who is not very girly liking every single box, because they are very girly. Like, one of them had hand lotion, two of them had bags, this one has the lipstick, another one had a perfume / cologne. And like, I probably shouldn't have swatched this because I'm never gonna wear it. I should have just given it to someone, but I might, you know, occasionally wear. I don't know what to do with makeup. I don't wear it, obviously. Like, I wear it for the screen sometimes when I like plan on recording, but it's not a everyday thing for me. Anyway, that being said, I again enjoyed the book, probably a 3-star. It was very cute. That's all I can say about it. And I liked how it ended. I liked Zaya a lot. I wish we kind of got a little more of him. They were all kind of flat characters, and I think it's because the book was trying to do like save the town and also critique social media and also do a slow burn opposites attract romance. But honestly, like, I wish we had gotten some more tension between the main couple. Everyone just kind of felt like background characters to the main character. So yeah. So altogether, this is what we got from, if I can hold these all correctly. Oh yeah, and 2 of the boxes have had little dainty necklaces. Like, anyway, so they're very female-centric. So altogether, this is what we got: a necklace, floral card coasters, a cozy for a mug, and a lipstick tube. There we go. That's the name. So altogether, these 4 things and the book. Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. Now, I have read the first chapter of this like 3 times because I read it when we initially got it, and I opened it before I opened it on camera because I didn't think, because I was going to do a vlog with just this and the travel, and then plans changed entirely. I read it, the first chapter, again immediately after reading, what did I read? Garden of the Cursed. There we go. And I was like, not feeling it. Also, I want to get through a Once Upon a Book Club box so I don't have to worry about like unpacking stuff. But anyway, and then I read the first chapter again last night. But it was so tired, I don't remember anything of it. I'm not processing the first chapter at all. So I think I'm just gonna keep going and pretend that I totally did process the first chapter and keep going. So, Immortal Longings next. Yay. Sci-fi, fantasy, jumper stuff. Alright, I'll put this cover back on just for you guys. So I have a little less than 100 pages left in this, and it's been a slog. So I can tell very much that this book is setting something up. You know, this is the Spy Kids 1 of the book, you know. And for those of you who don't know, they made Spy Kids 1 so they can make Spy Kids 2. So it sells you on this death game going throughout the city where, you know, you fight to the death and all that, and like you jump into other people's bodies. Unfortunately, that is not the focus of this book. This book's focus is kind of to establish the world and the people and the characters that you're going through, and the death game is just something to get you hooked because she needed something to go along with her explaining the world of which she actually wants to get into, because I can tell that there's other things going on, and I don't think the death game is going to be a thing later in the next couple of books, okay? I also want to give you full honesty. I watched someone tell me everything that was gonna happen. I watched Kayla Barber tell me everything in her spoiler talk on this book. So I was also looking for like the foreshadowy things that you can miss if you're just trying to read the book, and you're not actually looking for how things happen. And how things are going to happen, I think they are laid out decently enough. Like there's enough little clues in there for you to be like, oh, I see. But it is also very lacking. Like every time I put this book down, I don't want to pick it up. Today is Monday. Today's Monday. Turn on watch. Is my watch dead? Today's Monday the 14th. Okay, August 14th. So I've been reading this for a bit. Granted, I did go on a family vacation, and this was the only thing really kind of that I tried to read while there, but I only read like 30 pages while there. When I got home yesterday is when I read a bulk of this, and like the book itself is not slow. Things are happening. Like, don't get me wrong. Things are happening. People are progressing. We're learning the characters. We're learning the rules of the world and magic. Cars getting on the couch. You know, like things are happening. However, I just could not read this fast. Like, I felt so slow reading it. Like, I started reading at maybe like 4 p.m. yesterday and read all the way till midnight, only taking the occasional breaks, and only made it to like 263, and that's coming in with 40 pages already read. So like, I don't know why it's taking me so long to read this book, but I'm just reading it so slow, and I don't know why I can't just move it faster and be done with it, because I should have finished this yesterday. It should not have taken me until midnight to get to page 200. Like, I don't know why I was reading it so slow. Anyway, I'm gonna push through this, and then once we finish it, I don't know if I'll have any extra thoughts on it, because I know the ending, and I think it's a good ending for where it's going. But I'm going to push through. I'm going to finish. Is it going to stop me from reading the second book? That's the real question, like at this point, because at this point we already know my thoughts on this book. I'm gonna finish it. I think I will probably give the second one a try, just because this one really is Spy Kids 1. You know, like we are setting things up. This is not the story. The story is after this. I think the setting's cool. The magic system, I don't know what we're trying to do with this book is the problem. Like, aside from set up the world, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know the message of this book, aside from kings are terrible, also being poor is bad, and if you're gonna govern, look after your people, you know? And I don't know if I fully believe August with him being like, yeah, I want to take over the kingdom and kill my uncle and be crowned the king so I can actually fix everything. Like, growing up under the rule of King Casa and him being basically your dad, I don't know if August would grow up that way, but we have, like, we are in his, like, we have his POV, you know? So we, in his mind, know that he thinks that he wants to do that. So I don't know. And then Calla, like, I don't really know what she wants. Like, yeah, she wants to kill the king, but is she, like, full anarchy? Because they make it seem like she's full anarchist, right? And then also the problem with Anton. So I also don't like that August and Anton both have A names, because whatever. But that's a personal gripe. Whatever, name your people the way you want to, especially since you're basing them off of Anthony and Cleopatra, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I don't care. Anton taking care of Ada, who is in the coma. The problem is we only hear bad things about Ada the entire time. And, like, even when we finally get a scene of Anton being like, oh, Ada, she was a good person, he's like, but was she really, though? Because that was forever ago. And now I know her more coma than I did alive. You know, so they aren't setting Ada up to be like this person who is so deserving of staying in a coma and having him kill him and having him participate in these murder games just to keep paying for the coma that she's supposedly, possibly never gonna come out of because of the jumper sickness. And all, like, if this was her very first book, and she didn't already have, like, these violent delights and all of that under her belt, I don't think this book would do as well. So if you're coming, to me being like, Jessica, should I read this book? I would straight up say I would wait until the second book comes out to even bother picking this up, is what I would say. Like, is it good? I think it's nice. Like, it's not the best book, you know, but it's not absolutely terrible. I think it's a little bit boring. The writing is very good. I think she has developed her writing more than her previous books. I don't know. I don't know if Calla's, like, I feel like Calla has a forced personality, because sometimes she says these really sassy things, right? And I'm just like, I don't know if that fits with your backstory and where you are now and how you're moving forward. Also, we don't deal with killing at all. Like, there is no real killing trauma. Anton tries to talk about the trauma of killing people, I think, for like 2 sentences, and then he's like, meh, but I don't care. And also, most of the killing is done off screen. So if you're looking for, like, I don't want to compare it to the Hunger Games because it's not the Hunger Games, but everyone compares every, you know, to the death battle, to the Hunger Games, Battle Royale, whatever, you know. But if you're looking for a battle to the death book, this is not it. Like, the battle to the death is just background. It is very much, like, I don't want to call it a plot device because obviously it's supposed to be the main plot, but it really is just like, what is the easiest way that I can get my characters to do the things to set up the stuff that I want in the next book. Standalone book it is not. I got 100 pages left and I feel like not much is going to happen. I feel like we're going to get to the battle and it's going to be our two mains because it's got to be. And then I already know the spoilers of how it's going to end, so I'm just like, okay, cool. And I'm more interested in the how it ends that way as opposed, like, I know that I'm not going to get the answers that I want in this book from how the book ends. Let's finish the book so I can actually for sure tell you how it ends. But I don't think I'm going to have many more thoughts on this than what I have just said to you, except for, oh my god, that ending, cliffhanger, oh my god, wait till the next book. Seriously, wait until the next book before you read this one.
I finished it. Finished. Done. Just in time to go to the grocery store.
So, take whatever, 4, 5, who knows. Dogs are now calm enough, probably. So, we recap whole 3 books. Let's go. We have Garden of the Cursed by Katy Rose. Really? We've been napping for 10 minutes. Anyway, we've got Garden of the Curse by Katy Rose Poole. We are following, we're following Marlowe, who has escaped the high society life and put herself in the marshes and has made herself a curse breaker after, you know, leaving high society and being scorned by her childhood best friend / love interest Ardris. Now our plot picks up when Ardris is like, hey girl, heard you're a curse breaker. Break my super secret curse, please. Yes, yes. So they work together to break her curse. Something happens. They fake date. Woo, fun. There's also this whole, like, who is gonna become the heir to the very rich family and Ardris's family, because he has a twin sister who is getting married. And there's this whole marriage thing going on, which means there's a lot of other fancy parties. It's really fun. I enjoy Marlowe a lot. I liked her character. I liked the mistakes that she made. I liked her drive. I liked her banter with Ardris, and I liked her banter with her best friend, Swift, her best friend Swift. I really am looking forward to the next one. I loved where this one left off. I loved the twists and turns of it. It was super fun. I rated it 5 stars. I cannot wait for the next one. I'm so excited. Yeah. Cool. Famous for a Living, we follow Kat Cranwell as she basically goes into the scandal of a lifetime and gets herself off the grid because she was like a very early famous Instagram model person, influencer, whole life is online person, very superficial. Her uncle is a park ranger, so he offers her a job to social media his little park while she recovers from her scandal. At the same time, it's an opposites attract romance between one of the other park rangers who does not like social media at all. But mostly it's that Hallmark big city girl comes to fix up small town business that's kind of failing thing and falls in love with everyone there. Yeah, she makes a best friend with her roommate, she does a polar bear plunge, she does some crazy other things. It's a fun, cute little read. If you like romance, if you like the Hallmark time, it is a winter read though. Spring vibes False. It's a winter read. And then last but not least, Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I have mixed feelings about this book. I feel like it was very mid. It's great setup for whatever is going to happen to it. The ending felt rushed. Like the ending is rushed. And I'm interested to see in where it goes next. Am I going to be clamoring for the next one when it hits the shelves? Probably not, but I'll probably pick it up. But I'm probably not gonna pay extra for series cohesion, you know what I mean? And also, I started talking about this when I finished it. It ended up being like 40 minutes long raw footage. So I'm just gonna make a whole nother video, keep a look on for that, talking specifically about Immortal Longings and very spoilery talk about Immortal Longings. And also I'm gonna read Antony and Cleopatra and kind of make comparisons and then also do predictions based off of that, while also not having read her previous work, These Violent Delights, to see how closely she follows the Romeo and Juliet narrative for that one. But maybe I will pick up These Violent Delights. Like, it was intriguing enough to want to continue. But again, I think if I did not know the end when I picked up this book, I don't think I would have finished the book, because it was very slow to read. The middle was a little meandering, and the hook plot is not the main plot. So yeah, that has been these 3 books for the July mostly boxes. Stay tuned for more. Let me know if you've read these books or if any of these intrigued you. Otherwise, that's all. My name's Jessica, and remember, we are all in progress. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yay, YouTube stuff. Okay, bye-bye.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again.